Greetings, my name is Slight, and this is a Gunfire Reborn solo reincarnation 8 run on the Crown Prince, aka the Cat. This run we're going to talk about how to play some cool tech of my own creation, the Crown Prince Energy Blade Flowing Light melee build. So let's get started. Pick Crown Prince and queue up in your preferred difficulty. There are quite a few good blessings you could take with this build, but I highly recommend overconsumption. If you're struggling getting builds in general off the ground in solo R8, say hello to your Lord and Savior. If you're like me, most of my runs end in the Longling Tomb or the Angsty Desert, so being extremely powerful during these early stages of runs is invaluable, because it gives me a huge amount of flexibility to get my build going when I have less control over where my build is at. It's especially useful if you're trying to get a melee build off the ground. Melee builds can be very difficult to pull off in the current R8 difficulty, so you need every advantage early so that you can get a good defensive strategy going for the mid and late stages of the run. I was lucky enough to get Enhanced Backup Shield early this run, and this is exactly the type of scroll that you're looking for to enable the survivability you're going to need later in the run. Other powerful blessings include Splinter Orb for its large area disable, Smog Bound Zone for its damage reduction, Fake Death for pay to win, and Ultimate Gambler to ensure you're getting the right ascensions. The essential crux of this build is to pick up levels in Energy Blade, find a Flowing Light, and abuse this. So what's happening here? It turns out that the way Gunfire Reborn calculates a single shot is a bit inconsistent, to say the least, but in this case, it's way in our favor because we get to play this spicy nonsense. So Flowing Light's secondary fire is considered all sort of one shot / one hit over the course of all of the slashes. This means that each hit from the secondary fire not only gets bonus damage from the Energy Blade on every hit, but also triggers the AoE damage as well. If you were to get 3 tanky enemies lined up together, they would all take 5 hits from Flowing Light, and they would take 10 hits of AoE damage from the Energy Blade AoE that's triggered off the other 2 units being hit at the same time. Just one level of Energy Blade gives you plus 2000% extra weapon damage on each of these 3 enemies. Not in total, on each of them, over the course of the 5 hits, and that damage does not even include the actual base damage of the sword itself. So, to actually perform this build, you'll be looking for groups of clumped up enemies. You'll cast Energy Orb on them to stun them all in place in a favorable position, then charge at them and hit them all with a secondary fire attack from Flowing Light. Most of your job is making sure you have good movement so that you can force enemies to group up and then obliterate them. Against single enemies, simply throwing a smoke grenade at their feet and hitting them with a attack combo will stagger them and apply an average of around 3 miasma stacks, which is usually enough to kill most enemies and keeps you from having to use an energy orb on every single enemy. You probably have a sense that this can be extremely powerful at this point. So how do we extend the strategy to make it more consistent? First, Chapel was the player who first showed me that the Flowing Light has a 7-hit combo. Hold the secondary fire, release for 5 attacks, then immediately do 1 normal attack, then immediately do a secondary skill. This combo comes out very fast and works with all characters, though frankly, it works best on the bird. Second, we want to find a high % chance fire weapon and Gemini it to the Flowing Light with an elemental share Gemini so we can start proccing explosions and, more importantly, manipulation. This will set us up for a powerful triple element combo. As a melee build, having manipulation in your build is incredibly important for threat reduction and survivability. Third, we want to make sure that we are looking for and or re-rolling our Flowing Light until it has good inscriptions. The one I have in this game is exceptional because any of these plus 50% damage to enemies under a specific elemental effect is actually a 50% multiplicative damage boost, which is absolutely bonkers and better than a lot of other inscriptions, including higher rarity ones. I don't have time to go too deep into this topic here, but I'm working on a video that will go more in depth to finding good inscriptions for specific weapon types. In this case, I have 2 plus 50% elemental inscriptions, and I will be applying both of those elemental effects, which makes this particular Flowing Light chef's kiss. Fourth, after getting our first level of Energy Blade, we want to prioritize at least one level of Chain Duration, which helps us set up our Flowing Light multi-hits more easily. Then we want levels in Power Source and Energy Blade depending on our preferences. This is one of the few builds in which Power Source 3 isn't a total waste of an Ascension, because each orb constitutes a massive amount of damage, and your job as a player is to find a good position and take advantage of it. So you're not spending a large amount of time firing your weapon, and when you need to fire your weapon, casting 8 energy orbs just is a huge damage loss normally. But in this build, it works quite well. Fifth, picking up a few points in the grenade package works very well with any build that's picking up Energy Blade. Having the Energy Blade buff means that you're likely going to kill whatever you hit next. So you can guarantee kills and therefore guarantee acidic explosion procs, and then those can chain react on top of your Flowing Light multi-hits to meaningfully increase your damage. Also, it's worth noting that acidic explosion is one of the few options you have in the game that counters challenges that summon small units when enemies die. Acidic explosion triggers after a unit's death, so it cleans up a lot of the little boops in a very satisfying way. Key ascensions in this package are Toxic Smoke level 1, Acidic Explosion, Elemental Shield 1, 2, and 3, and Hex Smoke level 1. And with that, sit back, relax, enjoy the music, and I'll let the rest of the run speak for itself. I hope this is helpful and you get a chance to try out my tech in a future run. If you like this, feel free to sub, but don't sub for me. If you sub for you.
say, hey, I can't stay late playing on my video game. You got things to do. You need to wake up early and read the morning news. Maybe I fit in if I tried a little more just to look like them. Maybe I'd fit in if I tried a little more just to act like them. Play my video game. 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 They say I can't spend all my money on my deadbeat friends. They need things to do. They need to go out and look for jobs, and you do too. Maybe I fit in if I tried a little more just to look like them. Maybe I fit in if I tried a little more just to act like them. Play my video game. Play my video game. Play my video game. Play my video game. Maybe I'd fit in if I tried to look like them. Maybe I'd fit in if I tried to be.